We are live. We're live. We're here with our good friend Cara. She's decided to join us live. A lot of people have been here up to go live herself, and she keeps refusing. So we thought we'll just drag her onto our channel, and then everyone can ask her questions through us.
It works.
So,
easier.
Thanks for coming along. We are streaming on Facebook tonight as well. So if anyone wants to head over there and say hello on Facebook, that'd be cool to see. Looks like we've got 6 likes on Facebook, so you got to be happy with that.
Sweet.
Let's hit up the chat before we get into it. Denny got the brownie points tonight. He got the one
Denny
wins. So good work, Denny. Robbie's here. Anthony Pittsburgh's in. Good to see you.
Oh, must be early.
Shirley, thanks for coming. Robin B, hello from the Veggie Patch. They're having an awesome time over there.
Wow, hey, Robin.
I'm pretty jealous of this.
I wish I was there, to be honest.
Cara sent us here. That makes sense. That's the only reason we're here as well. So, Frank, good to see you.
Quality content.
Damn, yeah, we did hit 2K subs today. So,
yay! Thank you, guys.
Pretty happy with that. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Congratulations.
Donna May. Donna's in as well. Hello.
Hey, Donna.
Dave C. Michaela, good to see you. There's Toby as well.
Oops.
Ken Skeets jumped on him with him the other day. That was fun.
You jumped on him.
I jumped on him.
Don't jump on Ken.
All on budget. Hello from the US. We are
cool.
we elect total idiots for positions of power.
Hey, same. It's all good.
It's pretty much standard. I think.
We're the same, mate. Don't worry.
Qualify. I think that's the rules.
Hey, Andy.
Oh, Andy's in. Congrats on the 2K.
Oh my God, I didn't even like the video. Oh no, I did. I'm sorry.
Close her tab.
We found our thumbs downer. She's on screen. Nathan's in. We're talking him on eBay just before, I think. But that was pretty random. Georgina, hello.
Hey, my love.
Gary. And the ultimate trivia supporter. Good old and MJB3220. Thank you everyone for coming. It's good to see you all here tonight. We've got plenty of questions to get from Cara tonight. So
yeah, we're going to grill you. Get ready.
We're going to have to crack on with it. Luckily, we didn't get a whole heap of postcards this week. We got one from this one person who might actually be on the stream. So Cara sent us this postcard that says, "Hello friends, this is my card. The end. Love from Cara, Ruby and Finn." So we've already put a little pin in the tab up there. And we're pretty much at 20 now.
Yeah. So, when are you going to do the draw? Look, it's lucky. Except it's a different color.
Is it thrifted?
Yes. It was thrifted postcard. That's why it took so long to actually give you a postcard. Not that I've been thrifting recently, but
no.
Simply Dana's in. Dana did that. We did that 10-second video for the stay indoors.
She did a heaps cool
video.
She
collated all these resellers. I know that Brad was on there as well, and it was really cool to see that video.
I haven't seen it. You have to link me after.
Will do.
Heck yeah.
We got our first Facebook viewer. So Keith has dropped over on Facebook. So
hello, Keith.
Over there. Really appreciate it.
You are the first.
I'm scared of his picture though. He's got a scary bunny rabbit.
I've actually worn that bunny head before, I believe.
Yeah. Probably not that exact one, but
it's a dirty lucky. Will you be taking questions? Yeah, we can take questions along the way. We do have a heap from Instagram, so we'll churn through those, but obviously the chat will probably drive a bit of it as well. So it's been a little while since you've been on live with us on our channel, Cara. So welcome back.
Do you think that the last time I was actually live with you guys by myself was when we did the Reseller Life one?
I'd say so. Like we've been on a lot of other streams together, but not like this. So plenty has happened since then. We've done a lot of thrifting since then. We've ate a lot of food since then.
A lot of food.
Oh my God! Every time we get together, we're just like, so what's for lunch? What's for dinner?
Thrifting mukbang.
I'm hungry. All right.
Me too.
Well, take the Mickeys in as well.
Take the Mickey.
That's a good name, actually. Hopefully, they don't take the mickey out of us, but it's
We shall see.
Yeah. So I guess the main reason we wanted to get you on again is because you have a vast array of knowledge in women's vintage and a lot of other things.
We want to know your secrets.
And I think
just know a little bit about a lot of stuff.
I don't think you promote yourself enough because you've definitely taught us a lot of things, and we've sort of the cat's about to attack something. So,
Lucky.
oh, get it. There she is.
Oh, everyone just wants to see. Get out of the frame, guys. No one cares about you.
Get it.
Money Mental UK's dropped in as well.
Andrew.
Oh, that's Aid. Hey, Aid, good to see you as well. Yeah, so I don't think you give yourself enough credit in the space that you know, because whenever we go out, you're picking up stuff that I would never even look at. You picked that, what was it, Gucci scarf?
Oh,
that was
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty insane, really. And you snagged a pair of shoes off us as well. What were they? So
if you can authenticate it, you get it.
That's right.
If you know your Prada.
Yeah, Prada. So I think it's really cool that we can talk about a few things, and there's plenty of questions that come through. So I guess if anyone has questions along the way, drop them in the chat. We will hit up the ones from Instagram first. We won't try and make it too
No.
Yeah, we will. I will.
I want to say as well that you guys have taught me a lot as well. In in a lot of different spaces. And I was actually thinking today of things that you've pushed me into a little bit more. And I think one of them was shoes. And probably I don't know, maybe a year ago, I hated shoes. And then I was like, I should probably pick up shoes considering Brad and Jazz earn so much freaking money off shoes. And ever since then, I'm it's my favorite thing.
I'm pretty sure you know a lot more brands than we do now. So you've surpassed our knowledge base, but I'm glad we sort of pushed you in that direction.
Last time we were in Savers, you spent an hour in the shoe section.
You did.
Oh, yeah, I swear, every time you guys are just boom, boom, we go our separate ways. And then I'm I'll be in the shoes.
But there is really good money in shoes. And I think sometimes it's an area that gets overlooked, even in Australia.
Weird. It is. It's so funny. I don't know about you guys. When you go to the shoes, especially at Savers, I guess, because there's a lot of stuff at Savers. And I know that people think it's quite expensive there. And we do know that it's expensive. But we also know that there's a lot of stock there that you're just going to be able to get in and get out. And there's stuff there that you're not going to get anywhere else until you pay a premium for it. But you can still find really good deals. And especially with the comfort shoes and stuff, you guys know, they're so overlooked. It's there's 50 pairs there when I go because no one wants them except people on the internet, apparently.
It's I walk down the aisle and I pick 2 and I turn around and Kara's at the start of the aisle, but she's got 10.
Yeah.
I just walk past everything.
I saw Zach pop in. So, hey, Zach, good to see you.
Hey, Zach.
And Tony as well. Good to see you, Tony. Yeah, and I think you're right. There's so much opportunity that is untapped. And I know that we still walk past stuff today that, in maybe 2 or 3 years' time, we're going to be picking up and looking back and going, why did we never pick that up before?
Yeah.
And it's the everyday things. It's the comfort shoes. It's the things people just wear to work.
Yeah.
That we
they need that stuff. It's like you with the jeans, isn't it, really? Because it's your bread and butter. That jeans and stuff is what people need. People just love denim. They need it every day. They're going to buy it. So that's something that is always a constant in your store.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of denim, lockdown look of the day.
Oh, yeah. But I don't actually have denim. I have pajamas on.
Yeah, I won't stand up. Could get
Yeah.
Damo's dropped in as well. Good to see you, Damo.
Damo.
I hope you're staying well and safe.
Hey,
He's
Damo.
working hard.
So we've got feedback in the chat, which is awesome.
Thanks for coming.
If anyone's over on Facebook, drop us a comment because I'm really keen to see how we
Yeah,
fit
that'd be
through.
fun. I just want to say that you guys know that I'm a top fan on Facebook.
To be fair, I think you're probably the only person that comments over there.
I'm liking every single post.
Well, we appreciate the support, so thank you very much.
That's okay.
What we'll do is we'll start cracking into the questions. Otherwise, we might be going to 2027.
We probably will go over time, I'm sure.
Let's be honest.
So Cara got a bunch of questions over on her Instagram, so we'll go through those. We had some fun ones.
And thanks everyone for doing that. That's really nice.
So beachside flips. Apparently, I don't know how to speak. Do you see yourself being an eBay reseller for life, or at least for a while?
I think if you're a passionate reseller, which I feel like you and I are, it's a life thing, don't you reckon?
Lifers.
Definitely.
Life.
Whether it's the same thing you sell or it's the same market in 15 years' time, we don't really know. But I guess you're always sort of committed to reselling in some form of the sense, I think.
Yeah. And I think probably me and Brad more so have been like doing it on some level for quite some time. Jazz, like maybe you sort of came into it when Brad was like more looking into eBay, but I've been doing it for probably ever since I was in high school, really.
Yeah, wow.
See, I wish I had. I wish I'd had this while I was at university.
Yeah.
And broke and
And that's what I love about Instagram is that we can, and YouTube, I guess, as well, is that, you know, a lot of people who follow us are not all about, oh, I'm going to make, you know, $5,000 on eBay in a month. They're looking at, you know, paying for their textbooks, paying for their morning coffee, like things like that. That's why I really like Instagram and YouTube, is because like we're sort of, you know, inspiring those people a little bit to be like, oh, I could sell a couple things on eBay every month and get a bit of money.
Yeah, everyone has a different why.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think if you can just like give someone like a little bit of hope that they can make some money, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, $50 a year or like $100,000 a year. Like it's something.
Yeah, I know. Definitely.
Lisa's over on Facebook checking us out, so thank you very much. Brad always has a speech. Brad always has a speech.
He actually means to do it. He just is testing you all.
Yeah, just seeing if you guys can keep up. Sheree is watching us over on Facebook as well.
Oh, cool.
I didn't think there'd be people over there. That's
I just wanted to test it out tonight, so do it. Retirement training. I think that's a good point. It's like, you're almost future-proofing yourself, like in a way, because even if you're not smashing through eBay, if you've got stock, then you can always list after you're retired and build up, you know, a bit of income.
Yeah, and especially with like your collectibles and stuff as well. You know, your games and your designer handbags or whatever you're collecting that may be worth money is, you know, those things keep value. You're going to be able to resell them later down the track. Yeah,
definitely. I was both buying Warheads and Chubs in primary school. I have no doubt.
So Zach doing that though.
Zach was like the kid at school that was like going hard on the Tazos and like balling kids out of Tazos. I reckon he was.
It's in his blood.
Yeah. Damo's asked a good question. What's everyone's biggest struggle with isolation so far? And that probably
that's a good question.
Two of the questions that we got on, well, you got on Instagram as well. So, do you want to go first with that, Cara?
I think I'm in like a little bit of a different situation to everyone else, where I work at home normally, and I've been doing that for over 2 years now. So generally, like, I'm at home a lot of the time, and I can't even go into work because my work is actually in Perth. So I'm pretty isolated normally, but it's just a simple fact that I cannot go out, because from working from home, I do like to go out once a day, you know, even if not to the op shop, but like, I don't know, just go out somewhere. And it's like giving me cabin fever, I reckon.
Yeah, I think the biggest struggle for us is like not sourcing. It's sort of been
that as well.
been like a blessing in disguise in one way, because it's forced us to like really dig deep find things that we need to list and get rid of them. We've made some awesome sales from stuff that's been sitting there.
Oh, it's crazy. Like some of the stuff that we have been hanging on to, like you guys, and I know that we are the same. Like there's stuff there, and I'm starting to get down to the bottom of that stuff. And do you know what? It's actually not giving me anxiety at the moment. It's like giving me pleasure. Like I'm enjoying doing it because I can't source, and I should have been doing that in the first place. But it's just those things that you buy and you go, ugh, it needs a clean, or, you know, something's wrong with it. There's a stain on it that's really difficult to get out. You can't just chuck it in the wash. It just gets chucked to the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, definitely. I think most people are guilty of that. Like you pick stuff when you go out and you list the stuff that you know is like the better quality stuff and going to sell quicker. Yep. And then every time there's those 2 or 3 items that get dropped to the bottom of the pile, and then you just keep stacking on top of it. So it's kind of that never-ending story type thing.
Has anyone else been saying what's their struggles in the chat?
Yeah, let's try and see. Flip has dropped in. He so thanks for dropping in. Well done on 2K. Thank you, Brad. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Clayton is watching over on Facebook. Here's one. Not being able to source new stuff to list.
Yeah. It's tricky.
Everyone's saying hello to
I think that's also sharing a workspace. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's so different for you guys. Like you do it on the weekends and stuff because you're essentially working with each other on your eBay store, but not in like a long period of time, like during the week. You don't do that. So
yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, the sourcing is like confined to the weekends and it's like list all through the week. So it's just kind of like a bit of a change up now that Jazz isn't working. It's like she can kind of list through the day and like sort of take things that like, you know, focus in on what needs to be done.
But I know that Jazz is enjoying isolation at the moment. So
she's loving it.
Is it insensitive to say that I'm just
you look really happy about it.
Murray's dropped in. Congrats, guys, on 2,000. Thank you very much. Really appreciate all the support we've been getting lately. And like it's just amazing the community that is growing in Australia. So thank you, everyone.
Oh man, it just warms my heart every time I think of like everyone that like we've made friends with and all the people that support each other and just enjoy each other's content and are always there. Like it's crazy.
I think like there's a really good people that want to lift each other up. Like we
don't find that in every community. Like that's a pretty special thing to want each other to succeed. So
and we will
we don't take it for granted.
We are going to do a bit of a 2K giveaway as well, so we'll announce that stream when we schedule it. But we'll do a bit of a giveaway to you guys to give back to the community, have a bit of fun. Probably an off night. It won't be a Tuesday, it might be a Saturday or a Sunday, so we'll see where we go with that. But that's enough about us because we've got plenty more to talk about with Cara. Zach's biggest struggle is Lucy.
I couldn't even imagine like being, I know that you guys are the same, like it's crazy to think that you would have to look after someone 24/7 and like try to still go about your day. Like
no way. No way.
Hats off to all the
Chris
parents.
Thornton's dropped over on Facebook as well, so thank you very much. Nerd is saying that hasn't listened in ages. Demotivated gives us some motivation, guys. What do you suggest doing to get motivated?
That was actually a question as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it might have been one of the ones.
Yeah,
let me find it. Could take
segue.
Delayed segue.
Do you want to sort of kick that off while I look for the actual question?
Oh yeah, Jazz, you go.
Me?
Yeah, you go. Motivation.
Well, if I don't do enough on eBay, I have to go get another job. So
that is great motivation.
Pretty good motivation.
If I want to keep.
Going. Any more things?
I think my biggest motivation is like the end goal. So like when you get in that funk where you like not listing, and I've been lucky the last few weeks because Jazz has been able to pick it up for me while I'm at work. But when you get in that funk of not listing, you sort of break your habit. So I think having a habit to get to that end goal is really important.
Momentum.
Yeah.
You're good at setting those habits. I suppose, I don't know, it probably would have been like 6 months ago now, maybe even longer, where I was finding it hard to just like level up a little bit and like find that extra motivation to just treat it like it was a business and it was going to go somewhere where I could be making it. Obviously, our end goal is money, isn't it? Like that's what we want. That's what we're doing. But you've got to enjoy it as well. I feel like if you don't enjoy reselling, like, why are you doing it? Money, yes, but how can you like have that? Yeah, you've got to have a passion to like resell. It's not something that you can just go, oh, it's okay, because do those people, really want to do it? And what I'm saying is like I like to set goals now, and Brad really helped me with this. When we were like listing together and being like, what have you listed today, blah blah blah, and having someone to keep you accountable. It's hard to find someone, I guess, unless like you're in the community, which it's really easy just to like make friends and have each other as like accountability partners and stuff. So I would say like enjoying it is my motivation, like setting goals, reaching goals, and like just talking to others about your goals and being accountable to them and yourself.
Would you say like we haven't sort of done the like listing challenge thing for, I don't know, probably 3-4 months. But would you say that you're in a routine now? Like once you sort of started doing that just became normal?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Like maybe I'm not as stringent as you guys. And I know that probably lately, like you haven't been as stringent with stuff because, all what's going on really. But generally, I would do like 10 listings a day now.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time. And do you know what? I'm okay with that. But eBay needs to be fed, as you know, and probably most people know. So like listing is what keeps me accountable and making more money and leveling up and things like that. That's the routine, and that's what keeps me growing essentially.
I think when you start seeing that reward as well, like sometimes it takes a bit of while for that reward to come back, but once you start rolling and start like getting those extra like dollars through, you're like, oh, like I want to do more.
Do it again.
Exactly. If you make profit off something and you know that you can do it again and again, that's what sets that big fire in people's bellies, I think, is like, wow, I can make this money over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's just compounding, isn't it? It's just growing and growing. Over flipper, Brad, would you class your reselling journey as more of a hobby or a job? So I wanted to pull that up because you sort of mentioned that, lately you sort of focused in on it, and you've probably pointed it in that direction of in the future making it like your career, I suppose. So what are you sort of thinking in that space at the moment? Are you sort of working towards that?
Can you guys hear the movie in the background?
Only just, it's not a problem.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Ace has dropped in. Thanks. Ace.
No. So making it my job. I think it's gonna happen. Like it is gonna be my job one day, or I hope it will be, or maybe it could be like part-time, which is generally what I'm doing at the moment because of COVID. I'm down to 3 days a week now, so I'm still getting paid because I'm on annual leave on those days. But if I wasn't, eBay would make up for it, and it does already. So
yeah, and I think for us as well, I'll just quick shout out to Rob for popping in. He's on his way back from work, so thanks for dropping by. I think for us as well, we're in a very similar position in that we're kind of working towards that point where one of us or both of us can do that. So it's going to be interesting sort of I don't know, year ahead, I suppose, especially with all this isolation, to see how people can adapt and change to those situations.
Yeah, the effect and the response.
I'm just going to catch up with a bit of the chat, and then we'll answer some more questions. Some pretty amazing people in this community, absolutely.
There's one of them.
It's a small community, but it's a great one. Hollywood. Today picked up 286 kids' family DVDs on Facebook Marketplace for $70. Can't complain with that.
Napped it up.
I have not seen, I don't know about you guys, have you been looking? I can't find anything.
I haven't.
Dog stuff. I can't.
I've been looking on Facebook. There's not much around on there, but I've been looking at some auctions as well. So they're still running, and a lot of them are like just doing postage. So
we've missed out on a few things, unfortunately. Knowing what you know, would you start in the eBay reselling business in the current COVID-19 situation? I ask because I'm stuck at home with parents and can't leave, zero experience. What do you think, Cara? Would you start up now?
Yeah, why not? It hasn't affected my sales adversely yet. I can't predict the future, so I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, if people are going to stop buying or continue buying, but it has benefited. That sounds bad, but like it has helped sales because people are at home. There's no retail stores open, so people are just looking to buy things. And we were talking a couple of days ago or yesterday about like what we could talk about in the chat, and like trends and stuff that we could talk about if there was any during the COVID crisis. Really, for me, there's not. Like everyone's just still buying the same things, maybe a little bit of more games and board games and puzzles, as you guys know. But obviously, because you can't source, just go through your house.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. If you're stuck at home, then find some things around your house and get them up.
Yeah.
I did want to show people as well that you sort of sent us a few photos of stuff that you had sold. So we can talk a little bit about that. And you just touched on games. Yeah. So these are just games from around your house that you loaded up and sold recently. So
yeah, they sold in like a day, I'm pretty sure, those ones.
Yes, that's a really good example of like being resourceful, finding stuff around your house. You're going to struggle to get stuff outside of your home. Let's be honest. That's where it's at the moment. But if you can do stuff from your house and find things, there is no reason that you couldn't start right now. If you can bring in some other sort of funds into your home at the moment, there's no better time to be doing that. So
you have an internet connection, if you have a smartphone or a camera, and if you have a background you can take pictures on.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a good background nowadays, does it? Because
a table.
Yeah, a table. Like generally, I don't know. People say they don't like photographing on the ground. I think some things are okay as long as it's super, super clean. And if you've got natural daylight, because people aren't really going to have the ability to buy lights, maybe online, but obviously don't worry about that if you're starting. But if you've got a clean background, you've got your iPhone, you got your stuff to list, and don't just look at the things that you think are going to, bring money, like these, PlayStation games. Yeah, that's easy. We know that PlayStation games are going to sell, but think about the stuff that, is a little bit outside of the box. Just check everything. If there's stuff that you want to get rid of, look it up on eBay. Like the other day I sold a belt buckle that was like, it was like a rail belt buckle that was my husband's. So, just random stuff, it's still going to sell. That sold in a couple of days for $55. So
yeah, and that's just something
it just sitting around. It was like there for years.
Crew Dylan's asked, love the channel, just wondering why do you wear a hat? Because my hair is shocking and I don't want to subject anyone to that.
Because these lights are so bright.
Everyone's saying just do it, start, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. It's an incredible skill to have. So the more you can learn, the better. Let's catch up with the chat. I might just scroll through and see if there's anything in there.
Lordy.
Question for Cara, is Brad like a neighbour from Home Improvement and all you see is the hat at your back fence?
Well, it'd be weird if I was like at his back fence because Generally, I'm at the front door, but no, he's definitely not.
Way creepier. Carrie dropped in. Hey, Carrie, good to see you, all the way from the US of A.
Hello. Hi,
See
Carrie.
you. Let's catch up. We're getting heaps of chat questions on here, so we're going to have to smash through them. In regards to eBay store, do you need an ABN to have an eBay store?
Nope.
It's good to look into it if you're sort of planning on doing it like pretty seriously, because if you earn over $10,000, the tax office can, you're in tax zone, and even before that, they can determine that your business is, that your hobby is a business. So
yep, they can see you.
Megan's dropped in. Megan Tate, good to see you, Megan. Thanks for dropping by. No, you and Cara definitely came here for Cara. So
I mean, me too.
DBG's in. Hey, Leanne, thanks for coming.
Hi, Leanne.
All right, let's scroll through some of this stuff and try and get to the bottom. Looks like we've got 60 plus people in the chat here and on Facebook. So
hi, everybody.
Thanks,
thank you,
guys.
everyone. 65 in the chat. That's gold. Let's jump through a little bit. I love the reselling family. You all showed the support you showed each other. The bushfire. Yeah, that was like probably one of the highlights of our whole YouTube so far. Just 100%. The support.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support in that, Terry.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks for letting me join in.
Let's jump to the bottom. All right, we're at the bottom, so let's try and answer some of these questions over from Instagram. So I'll try and bring some up. Luke Bomb Hustling, one of our good friends, Drew and Sarah. Resources for learning women's clothing, blogs, magazines, etc. My resource is Cara, so.
I mean, just general social media is my main go-to. I do a lot of just looking, like scrolling, and I guess I have an interest in fashion as well. So like I'm just constantly looking at outfits, and I see the trends come in. I know what, it's not all about trends as well. It's about classic style and things like that, what's going to stay in style forever sort of thing. But resources, Pinterest, generally magazines. Like I don't buy them, but if I do,
You're okay. You're back.
I was like, oh, am I gone? Magazines, like women's generally magazines, like fashion magazines, obviously. Depop is good for trends. Lots of kids on there, young adults. They know what's stylish. So, and things, it's like a little bit more outside of the box on Depop as well, because it's not all about what's on the runway or whatever. It's about what is trending with the young people, because they're a lot of the people who are buying fashion and things like that. So definitely Depop. Following designers on Instagram and Facebook is what I do. So I just follow all of their stores, and I just constantly see what's coming up, what's in style, and that really helps with like my vintage buying as well, because fashion comes around over and over again, doesn't it? So if I can see something that is in style at the moment, but also was in style like in the 80s or something like that, most of the time people are going to be wanting to buy vintage of that actual item. So that's something that I'll like remember when I go out and things like that.
I remember to segue into that quite well. He said a question: when buying vintage clothing, would you say style or brand is more important consideration?
Yeah, for me, it would be style. There is brands, obviously, that you would want to look out for in the vintage area. You're not going to pick them up that often. They would be very hard to find because they'd be quite sought after. So I would just familiarize myself with all the different areas and stuff like that. So at the moment, things like 90s and the 2000s apparently is vintage. That means that we're vintage. That is massive. But things like brands, I actually wrote down a few that I could think of because I would suck being put on the spot. But like designers that I look out for are like Colours and Patty, which isn't exactly like really, really vintage, but it's there are vintage things. You've seen that label before, Colours and Patty? Yeah. It's actually really hard to find the newer Colours and Patty because that stuff is like crazy expensive. So you're actually more likely going to find vintage Colours and Patty. Things like Prue Acton, Anthea Crawford, those sort of brands. Anthea Crawford, you may find at the op shop. Prue Acton, I've only ever found once, and I actually still have the hat. That is a very sought after vintage designer. I think she's Australian. I'm pretty sure she is. Another one is that I sort of recently sold actually was Henry Blee, and it was actually one of my own dresses, and they did things from around like the 50s towards the 70s, and they're quite sought after as well. But yeah, there's tons of bits and bobs out there. Like obviously just look at sold listings, but sorry, I could ramble about vintage forever. But style is everything. There's so many resources out there for vintage. Like if you want to get into it, just look on Pinterest and solds and just general normal eBay things to do research. But it's about the style. Go on Pinterest, look on blogs, whatever, Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really good advice for a lot of people. Sort of like trying to find that knowledge is the first challenge, and then learning it is the next one. So that's some great advice. Hey guys, do you think there is a good time to list items, or doesn't it really matter? Do you want to have put your thoughts on that one?
I would. So say, I don't think there's a time of day for me anyway. I've never really noticed a trend, but I think that if you can get as many listings up before the weekend, so coming into the weekend, so say Thursday, really hit hard, start listing quite a few, and then on the weekend you'll get a lot of sales. Well, that's what I found anyway for me.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's a time slot that really forces sales. The only time that you really need to worry about time is when you're doing auctions. You want to be ending on a Saturday evening or Sunday evening, somewhere around there.
You don't want it to be like ending at like 12 o'clock on a Wednesday or something like that.
But apart from that, just list whenever you can. If you're not going to,
Brad comes in and he's like,
snipes it. I was trying to snipe one today, but some people were it annoyed me.
I think consistency is probably more important
as well. Sorry, Jazz.
No.
I've actually been doing research on auctions just in recent weeks and just seeing some trends is that people have time now to do auctions. They're at home. They don't have to worry about being at work and missing out, and they will start bidding. So I think at the moment, it could be a time to do auctions. And if you've accepted that eBay offer recently, they sent out with a COVID email about 3 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah, probably.
You should have free auctions. And I know that you have been doing that, Brad, and you sold the game, that $900 one.
Yeah, we chucked another 4 on this week, ending on the weekend, and we've already got sort of 3 to 8 watches on all the items. So, I think picking and choosing stuff auction is important.
You can't just list anything as an auction. Like, it's just not going to work. You're going to, don't obviously do it at 99 cents. But, if you are going to do it, because it is free, just do it at the lowest price that you're willing to accept.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's solid advice, especially here in Australia, because we don't have that huge market to pump it up. I think start it at a price that you're comfortable with. If you get anything over that, you're laughing. And if you don't, you can always relist it as a normal listing. Lisa.
One more thing about the auctions. One of the categories that I was doing research in was like in the beauty category. Heaps of people are bidding on beauty at the moment. It's really odd. if you go on eBay and you just scroll auctions of beauty items like skincare and makeup and things like that, there's like bids on everything. It's really odd.
That's all me trying to get some. Do you test all DVD games before listing to make sure everything is working okay? Do you do that, Cara?
With the things that I can. Obviously, you don't have all the consoles, do you, to test everything anyway?
I probably do. But to be fair,
takes too much time.
Yeah, I'll just if it's a disc, I'll just look at the bottom of the disc. If it's in good condition, then I'm not going to worry about it. If it's got a few scratches, then I'll test it. And if it's got a lot of scratches, then I'll put it aside and I'll try and get them clean. But I don't think you need to test everything. Otherwise, you're going to be there. Could you imagine trying to test everything? That would be insane.
Like that lot that I did that you brought up, how many games that was. I'm not going to sit there and put the disc in, turn it on. No, if something is not working, but I could just refund them, whatever. But generally, if your disc is fine, it's no scratches, things like that, it's fine. I think I've only had 2 returns ever on games.
Yeah, it's very, very small, and you can usually tell with discs pretty easily, I think. Jennifer dropped in. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. I did see Mel pop in as well. I've missed her name though. Sorry.
It's gone.
Catch it as well. Where are we? I'm lost. We've lost the chat real bad.
Sorry, what's going on, everyone? Hello.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. We'll scroll down and catch some people in the chat.
Everyone's saying hi to Jenny.
David dropped in as well. Good to see you, David. Thank you very much. We hope you're well with your job. I know that there's a fair bit going on over there. Michelle B, I hope 2000 super low rise jeans never come back. I actually have a few pair of those, so I hope they do come back.
Do you know what? Do you remember the ones that were super low rise and then they went out to flares and then in the rain, Jazz, do you remember in the rain and they were so low and then you would get the water that would come up to your knee?
Wearing flat skate shoes and the back of the jeans were just destroyed.
And that never happens anymore. And it was and then you would get this big thing out the back of your bottom of your pants. It was ridiculous. Great times.
Bluegrass has dropped in as well. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat because we have let it go. With interesting perspective on auctions. Didn't think about that. People at home so they can watch auctions. Yeah, the one I was watching today ended at a stupid time. It was 3 o'clock and it got bid right up. So
usually
that does not happen.
Yeah, usually that would have been an awesome pickup.
Brandon's not happy.
All right, I've missed a whole bunch of chat here, so we're going to go to the bottom.
Just put a question in again.
Yeah, drop it in again, and we'll try and pick it up as we go. We're going to try and smash through some of these Instagram questions.
Yeah,
we might get Cara back around too at this rate because there's a fair
that
bit
would be
to get
terrible.
Through. Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
Oh, we are 43 minutes in. Yeah.
Papadom or hairy goat? That's a very important question from Driver Flipper there.
So for everyone who doesn't know what this is a Wiggles question.
No context.
And if you haven't heard these songs, I highly suggest after the stream you go listen to them. No. One, Papadums is slightly racist. And hairy goat is just freaking weird. So I'm going to go with hairy goat because it's weird.
As Brad would say, they're cooked. They are cooked.
They are so cooked on acid.
Amber, I'm going to butcher that. So let's just go with Amber.
Amber Newell.
There you go. If something isn't moving sale-wise, is there anything you do to make things more appealing?
You go.
So I guess we'll kind of relook at our titles, our photos, look at our pricing to make sure that we're still on market trend. And if we're not, we'll unlist it, make the changes, then relist it. So it's a fresher item. Look at our promoted listings as well to make sure we're still doing well with those. So that's probably sort of 3 or 4 things we do. What about yourself, Cara?
Generally the same pretty much. So, title, am I still at market value? Things change. And my photos, maybe I was having a crap day and I was like, that photo will do, but it just didn't actually do. It wasn't good enough. So maybe I'll change. Usually I don't have to do that now. I think because I've had quite a few years experience, it doesn't happen too often. Of course, there's things that I don't sell straight away and I do have to sell similar, but generally I'm just changing the price and the title.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's good advice. Just making small changes can like change the whole your lifting.
And sometimes it just gets lost in like eBay space. Like it's just like no one's looking at it, and then you bloody do sell similar, and next minute it's sold.
Next minute,
definitely. It's happened so many times. Samson TV's dropped in. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything's well for you. Let's go down a little bit. Tamara Chada. Hey, peeps, I'm here, but I don't know if you can see me. We can see you now.
Hey, Tamara.
Simply Dane is dropping a whole bunch of
what is that?
a whole bunch of emojis there for us. We have 78 people watching on YouTube and across Facebook. So thank you everyone for popping in and joining us so far. We still have a bunch to get through. If you can leave us a big thumbs up, we'd really appreciate that. And yeah, we hope you're enjoying Kara's knowledge. Kara, would you ever consider getting Brad to mug? No.
Hell yes.
I'll tell you the answer straight off the bat. No. Flippin' Sydney, biggest mistake you've made in your reselling journey and the biggest win.
Oh, and the biggest win. Mistakes.
I'll tell you. I can tell you
what's your biggest mistake? Well, my biggest mistake.
Yeah, your biggest mistake is hanging out with us. So that's all you've got.
Shut up. No, that is not right. My biggest win is meeting you guys. But biggest like actual eBay win would be just consistently making money and growing something that I enjoy and being able to look to the future in a good way. If I ever lost my job, I think I could make a pretty good living. And my biggest mistake, I mean, you guys have made heaps of mistakes. I've made heaps of mistakes. Little mistakes. Probably my biggest mistake that I would say it would be not using like custom SKUs early enough.
Yes.
Do you know, like using a ridiculous spreadsheet? And sorry, like if people use a spreadsheet to track items, that's fine. But for me and you guys, like we have a lot of items. Well, I mean, I have about 500, but I also have 200 unsold listings, which I need to put back up. So I usually have about 700 items in my store, and tracking that on a spreadsheet is just not viable for me. So when I first started, I actually didn't have any system. I wasn't, and it wasn't like I had a lot of stuff, but it was just hard to find things, even if I just had a couple of tubs. And it's so easy. All you do is add like where it is in a tub, like hey, you put it in the SKU. That is like the easiest thing ever. And yeah, I think that's probably my biggest mistake is just not organizing myself properly, because at post time.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the biggest tips that I wish I had early on was when you first start out, you don't really understand, like you don't really have a plan of how.
And it doesn't make. Why would they call it an SKU? People don't know what that is.
And it doesn't indicate anywhere that only you can see that.
They should just put in there like, where is your shit? That's what they should do. Yeah.
Where you putting that, bro?
It's like shit number.
Yeah. Dane was saying buying damaged clothes. We've all done that, especially in dark, dingy op shops.
I think
sometimes we still make money off it, but
making mistakes. I mean, like you don't want to make mistakes. That's why they're called mistakes. But in saying that, you need to make those mistakes because that's how you're going to learn. And that's how I learn. Is I would rather, like, of course, I watch people's videos and learn from them, but I learn from doing stuff. So, you know, I think how long ago was it now? It was like maybe a couple months ago. I was like, okay, I need to learn about DVDs. So I go out and I buy 400 DVDs, and you were like, why did you do that? And I was like, well, I want to do it to see what happens.
Yeah, and there's people that make it work, but I think it's about the quality of DVD you're buying as well. Like, you know, you don't want to get those sort of $3 to $4 DVDs because it's too hard to make a profit.
And I definitely made that mistake. There was some great ones in there as well. And then I made the mistake. And even like it was only just a couple months ago, but I knew that they weren't amazing, but I also wanted to have like a feel of what it would be like to buy a big DVD lot and how long it would take me to list things and things like that, because I just never had that like experience of having this massive bulk lot and like how fast could I actually list these? Would it be worth my time? Things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's only after you've done 400 DVDs that you get a sense of
if you've done well or
what
not.
to look for.
Yeah. And I think Ben's right. Like, there's definitely money to be made in media. There's no doubt about that. But it's all about your buy-in price. It's about the quality of the DVD and, you know, how much time you're willing to invest in that. And Ken absolutely smashes it. So
he's just like,
never say don't buy it because we bought it before and we made very good money off it. It's just about the right deal.
I got them
into them.
Yeah. I got them super cheap. So it was like, okay, I'm going to buy these. I think it was like $80 or something like that for 400 DVDs. And I was like, you know, see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's catch the chat again. Looks like we're pretty much up to date, which is good. Zach picked stuff off the sidewalk. David is hopping away. Sorry, everyone, have to go. Hope you all have a great day.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for popping in, David. Really appreciate your support. My biggest mistake is assuming people know when something is for collecting purposes or what actually can be used as a functional.
That's an interesting one. Versace jeans.
All right. How do you post DVDs? Large envelope wouldn't make sense if to pay $9 for postage. Yeah, so there's a few options, and I know that Ken has a few options. Yeah. We use if it's under 20, we'll send it in a normal large envelope, which is like $3.30 or something. And there's also a tracked envelope, which I think is around $5 something. Ken would definitely.
It's like $5.30 or $60, is it?
Something like that. Yeah, we don't use it a lot, but
no. And to tell you the truth, after buying those DVDs, I'm like, I don't want to sell a DVD that's under $20.
It all depends on the model, hey, and like you do really well in clothing, and you know that market really well, and your ASP on some of that stuff is quite good. So I think it's just knowing your model is the thing. Yeah. Like there's people that will turn and burn and do that volume stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's great. That's good for them.
When you're part time, I don't think you can sustain that level of like listing that many items to sell that many items.
Packing. Have you seen Ken packing those DVDs?
Man, he had like 170 sales the other day. It was insane.
What?
Congratulations, Gary. Just hit 20K in sales. That's massive.
Gary.
Awesome, great work.
He's been updating me about his sales. So.
Wow. There you go. C5 $4.95, 10-pack $4.70, $4.46 for 100-pack. Ken knows that stuff. Like
he knows that.
Yeah, he's the dude for DVDs.
Flip in Sydney, what one category you know nothing about but would like to learn for reselling? Wish I could read. It's probably a problem.
And speak, apparently.
Overrated.
You don't even need to. Just sell stuff on eBay. You'll be fine. I actually had to think about this because when I first got on, I said I know a little bit about a lot, and some things I'm a little bit more of an expert in. I found it really hard to think of something that I really wanted to learn because, like, I've touched on the categories that I like. And obviously there's things that I don't know, but do I want to learn them? Like maybe, like big electronics and things like that. Like big electronics, like VCRs and stuff. It doesn't interest me. I probably would buy them if I saw them, but it's not something I'm like, I really want to learn that. So I was having to think about it, and probably like the biggest thing that I've been learning probably lately is like sports jerseys and like AFL AFL jerseys and things like that. And I've sold like more of soccer sort of jerseys before and things like that. I don't know much about it, but I would like to find more of that stuff. And usually if you start to think about it, I'll be able to, maybe it will come my way a little bit more. So that's something I probably want to have a look at.
That's something that, like, I probably want to touch on before we move on, is like new channels coming into the scene, like Diver Flipper, Brad. He has brought like a different set of knowledge to all of us, and the same with people like Rob. Like, these are all people that, you know, are bringing value to our community. It doesn't matter that they're just like coming into the community; they are providing value to us.
Oh,
and
100%.
You're looking at sports jumpers now because of Brad's influence, and also like football boots. Like, it's something that I don't look at a lot, but I always have a scan now because I'm like, oh, I know Flipper does well with these. Like, it's just picking up things from other people, and everyone has something to bring. So.
It's a melting pot. Yeah,
and definitely like VHS as well. Like, I knew VHS was worth money, you know, before Rob was around, but I didn't even really think about it so much. And now, you know, we look at VHS a lot in the shops. Like, we want to find it now. We're like, where's that horror clamshell?
Out the way.
Yeah, it's either like a race to the shoes or a race to like the gaming VHS.
Yeah.
One day there's going to be that horror clamshell, and I'm going to get it.
You are going to get it.
Nothing special. Steph says, how are you sourcing with op shops closed? I guess we've sort of touched on a little bit, but yeah, like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, Kain?
Yeah, I've been trying, but, you know, we can't source because the majority of the op shops are closed. Well, all of them are closed. So pretty much I am not sourcing, and the reason why it may look like I have stuff is because I do have stuff. It is just my debt file.
We're just still going.
Oh, and also, as we touched on before, we are thrifting our homes. Well, I have been. I know that you've done like a few little bits and pieces from your house. Is that right? You've done. Yeah. So, you know, things like those footy cards and stuff, which, you know, wasn't exactly, you bought them, but you still on-sold them. Hey, I actually looked at your sales because you said about one of the sales before. You sold a good one, didn't you?
Yeah, I sold the showstopper today. $150. I probably could have got a little bit more for it, but I just wanted to
so good.
Sort of sale. Made my money back on that.
Everyone, yes, I stalk their store. So
I love that you stalk our store.
Tori's joining us from over on Facebook, so thanks, Tori.
Cool.
Really appreciate it. I did miss something from Georgina. You wouldn't be knowledge. The Aussie community is a true community in the realest sense of the word. Yeah, I think we're very lucky here. Noodles.
All the noodles. I'm going to have some noodles after this.
All right, let's jump to the next question. We've just touched on that one. Same sort of question, right? We've done that one. We've done Mad Tatter.
Oh my God, did we get through them?
Have done them all. Awesome. Well, we can just have some fun now.
Let's look at those sales.
Oh, yeah. Savers over here in Melbourne, along with larger Vinnie stores, are still open. It's good.
They're retail stores, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cara sent us some of the sales from the last month, I think you said. So let's see if I can do this without destroying everything.
Well, seeing
what about you? Did you put your sales into?
Oh, no, it's all about you, man. It's all about you. I don't know if I can do this. Let's see.
You said you were going to put yours in too.
Guess what? We tricked you.
Yeah, to be honest, so you sold this camera. Now, this is a very good example of what you're talking about, because this was yours, right?
That's what I wanted to put in, was a few like things. Well, mainly the games was to show that, you know, games were selling. And this camera was mine. I bought it like quite a long time ago, and I had used it like a few times when I'd been on holidays, but it's a big clunky thing. It's really not for holiday photos. It's a professional camera, and I didn't really enjoy using it. So it sat around, and then when I was doing my like little house thrift, I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to sell the camera. I did pay for it a long time ago, like quite a bit of money, but I still sold it for, is it 260?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sold in like a matter of days.
Yeah, so that's a prime example of finding something that you're no longer using that there's value in, and turning that into like liquid cash. So that's a great example. There's a couple more. Let's see if I can do this without destroying it. It's interesting trying to do this. The other day, I accidentally closed the stream when we were with Tata.
It's all right.
With Andy.
Yeah, Andy kept it going. No one knew, but
I didn't even know.
Sold some RM Williams for I would suggest too cheap, but that's just
no. But so I put this in for a reason, and they probably were worth a little bit more, because who has ever seen floral RM Williams?
No,
not me.
No. And the reason I chose this pair is to show that clothes are still selling, which they are. Like, I'm selling clothes still, and these ones sold for $29 because I picked them up and I knew that they had damage on them. One of the belt loops had come away at the back, but I still sold it for $29. Like,
that's plus postage as well. So
plus postage,
that's a good example of making the best of the situation. It was damaged, but you still sold it for $38.
I knew that. I saw it damaged in the op shop, and I was like, damn, I can still get like $30 for them.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I almost clicked leave studio then, so that would have been bad.
No.
And I sold another pair like days later because I got them all at the same time. I got 3 pairs. They were all like really fun. They were the floral, they were green and yellow, and I sold the yellow ones like within 5 minutes.
Wow.
I almost did it again. That's really bad.
Could you please?
Speaking of yellow, what is this? What is this?
Okay.
This is
so
awesome.
I chose this because toys are selling for me.
Yeah.
I don't have heaps, but this one was really beautiful. It's a Hansa toy brand, and it is like the most beautiful plush, if you can even call it that. It's like a work of art, really. But yeah, it's just I thought it'd be a good example of something like that you could sell that you probably have sitting around. People have random plush. I don't know, do they have random plushies like kids and stuff? Obviously, it's got to be. You can't just grab any plush, but things like that do sell.
Zach's got a good question about free post. So they've moved all their listings to free post. What's everyone's thoughts? Obviously, we do mostly all free posts. We have been experimenting with some on, some off, depending on the item.
Yeah, you've been moving away from it a little bit, though.
Just depends on what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say moving away from it. We're sort of running a few tests, I guess, is probably the best way to put it.
Okay.
But I think free post does do better in terms of people seeing it and going, oh, I don't have to pay post, regardless of if it's the same price as including.
It's a competitive thing.
Yeah.
There are a few things that I've looked up recently, and all of the sold comps have been plus post. So I've done plus post.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
crushed.
It's like your books, and I don't know what else is like. You have to have free post pretty much. Books you do. Well, I think anyway, because like every single book pretty much has free post on it.
I think over like sort of $40, people expect free post. There's a few categories where I think it's more important than others. But yeah, we sort of use it as a bit of a tool to get sales. So I think it depends on what you're selling. Zach's probably got a lot of bigger gear. I think
I do offer free post on like stuff that is a little bit more expensive, even though that camera actually probably I could have sold for more, and I knew that I was just going to take an offer on it, so I did leave it as it was only $15 postage. I'm pretty sure it cost me more than that, but I just decided to. Usually I would do free post on like more expensive stuff though. Yeah,
I think that's a good way of looking at it, and I think it all depends on how you want to do it. So You know, we like to use free post, but it's not for everyone. So I'd never say that, you know, it's important. Well, it is important to me, but
and we build it into the cost. So sometimes if an item, once we build post into the cost, it looks too expensive, like that crushed pop vinyl box. That's when I do the item is this low price plus the post, so the customer can see why it's costing that much.
Yeah, differentiate between the post and the item, just so I know what you mean. Yeah, it's weird how it looks like that sometimes, how if you just take that the cost out and then you put it as post, people are like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, the item costs this much.
I think it's kind of like on your lower end stuff, like anything under sort of $15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's kind of like it doesn't seem as expensive, but if you did that item at 25, they're like, oh, that's too expensive. Like, whereas if you're selling stuff for over 50, I think people kind of expect that to be incorporated in the price, because a lot of retail stores will do free postage over $50.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things. I do free post on clothes. However, I sell a lot of vintage collectibles and always add post to collectibles.
There we go.
So you also sold this pair of shoes. I'm going to have to try and
I sold those today. Frankie Ford. This is a brand that all Australians should look out for. I've only found 2 pairs. But we saw this brand like quite a few months ago. I think we were looking at sold comps. We were like talking to each other about comfort shoes, and I was like, it was either one of us. I can't remember if it was you or it was me, and we were like, whoa, look at this brand. It is insane. And the sell-through rate is freaking crazy on it. But in saying that, I think it was the style of these. I don't regret picking them up at all, because they cost me like $9 or $10 or something like that. But I think like the sneakers and stuff, I've sold the sneakers a few weeks ago for $75. They do better, as in they sell quicker, but these ones were pretty much new, and they just probably weren't everyone's taste, I guess, so they didn't sell as quickly, and they didn't have as many watches as I thought they would. But then that's when I was like, okay, I'll just find the right buyer for them. I did have them up for like quite a high price. I priced them at 110, and some things, you know, you just were like, okay, this. I know that they were worth like hundreds of dollars new. So, but it just goes to show you that shoes are selling as well. Comfort shoes, in particular, I think at the moment are still selling. It's probably a majority of what I've been selling lately in the shoe category is like comfort shoes.
Yeah. So, that Frankie Ford was insane when we were looking at that. I was like,
so
I've never even seen this brand. And then you actually found some. So that was cool.
I've never found them.
Leanne is saying post is too expensive in Ireland. You should lose money. So that's another consideration. Where do you live? How much is postage? What return policy do you have or suggest on items? I think that depends on the level that you're at. Like when you're new, you don't want to be paying for returns and stuff like that. It does, giving buyer free returns does give you a boost in best match and stuff, and also gives your seller badges a higher quality. But it's all depends on what you do.
It also prevents people from like saying that you've tried to scam them or something like that, because why would you do that when you have free returns? And I think it actually helps. Well, for me anyway, not for everyone. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I do have free returns, so I pay the postage. And I have had a couple of returns lately, but does not outweigh the better stuff that I'm constantly selling things. So it's not. It's maybe just a small cost there that I have. But as you said, it is not for everyone. It's not for every level. I think that my level probably is fine to do it. But Mel, I don't know if she does free returns or she does any returns at all. Like, you have to accept returns, and I'm pretty sure that she said before that she does accept them if people ask, but she doesn't have it actually on, and she smashes eBay.
Yeah.
So.
Just one of those personal preference things. I've found that when we changed, because we used to do buyer page returns, and then we changed probably 8-9 months ago now. and I didn't really see an uptick in returns at all. I think that's one thing that
definitely not.
They're like, oh, people can return for free, so they'll just buy something and return it. But we still get the same percentage of sales and returns, and I'd suggest that our sales benefited from it. So it's kind of that like give and take type thing.
And I think that sometimes people see it's like, not all the time, but some people feel like it's the seller versus the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's not like that, you know. People just want what they want. They want a good item. They want something to fit. Like, of course you do. I want that as well. So why would I not want free returns? Like, obviously, if I bought something on the internet, I wouldn't return it. I would just resell it. And I think a lot of people do that as well. But I don't think having that attitude, and not having that attitude of, oh, this person's trying to scam me, or which of course I've thought about before, and I get those feelings when I know that something's like not right. But in the end, you know, you're wanting to provide a good customer service so that people come back. I have return customers, so I think people feel safe with you know what I'm selling, and they will return and they will buy the same things over and over again.
I have a really good example of that. We sold a tank, I think it was, and they got it and didn't fit them. And they contacted me. They said, "Oh, look, unfortunately, it doesn't fit. But I like a pair of pants in your store. Can we just pay the difference in the price because the pants?"
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And they returned the item. I sent them a new item. They gave me an extra $30. So I actually made more money because I was willing to take a return. So they bought a more item from our store rather than me saying no and then them getting angry at me and leaving me bad feedback. So
and the bigger picture is that you want people shopping on eBay. You don't want them to have a bad experience on eBay because they're not going to come back to the platform and they're going to tell all their friends that eBay is shit when it's not eBay, even though eBay can be shit.
That's a whole different
it's a whole different conversation, which will go for another hour. But you need to bring people to the platform or keep people on the platform. So using your customer service skills and thinking about the bigger picture really, rather than just, oh, this buyer wants to return something and it's going to cost me $8, blah, 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 or whatever. Just think about, you know, them and their situation. Like, obviously, you're going to get buyers which are rude and nasty and stuff. Happens to everyone. Usually, most of the time, most of the population are fine and they just want a good deal. They want to have a good shopping experience.
Yeah, definitely. I think right now, we have a massive opportunity as eBay resellers. So
100%.
Now is the time to be providing that customer service. Those people come back when this is all over rather than just forgetting that eBay ever existed. So.
There's a lot of people coming back to eBay or using it for the first time.
Question from Robbie. $0 lighting setup for photos. Would you use normal household bedside lamps or do you need something more specialized?
Ooh.
I would go no lamp because I feel like it's just not a good idea with that harsh light unless you have like a cool light. Mikhail's handing me some roses.
Yes.
Chocolate for me. I get chocolate on delivery.
Yes.
I would not use harsh light. Hopefully you would have some sort of light, natural light at home. I know that some people don't have big windows and stuff like that. Maybe if you could even go outside, if you have just like, if you're able to go to the shops, I know that it's not exactly essential, but going to like a craft store, or if you have like poster board, which you guys use, I use. So, and that's like, I know it's not $0, but it doesn't cost very much. It does make it look professional. And I think that it would add value, as in you're going to sell your items quicker. You obviously don't always need to use that because you've got the, it depends on what you're selling with the eBay cutout, but as we know, it's not very good. So it's actually going to be easier if you just get poster board, natural light, and then your iPhone or your smartphone.
Yeah, definitely. Natural light. That's what a few people are saying.
I agree with that.
Kelly just told me they are running buy from eBay Australia ads on free air TV.
Wow.
There you go. Go to eBay.
To the yard use the sun. That's a great.
Yeah, Brad's taken some really good clothing pictures just out in his yard.
They look so much nicer in natural light. I wish I don't know. I think it's just like the orientation of my house. I don't, and my windows as well. Like I get some natural light, but it's just like not in the right areas. So I have to use lighting. But if I would use it, it's just like not the best, and it would still look okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of options, and when you're starting out, you don't need to invest a huge amount of money. Start with what you've got. You can use, you can use those background remove tools. It doesn't always work well, but you can adjust it. There are apps that do it as well. But yeah, just do with what you can, and don't overinvest.
We say white because you get Google searched, or like, what is it again? Is it just Google, or is it just eBay say that you should have a white background, essentially?
Or Google.
Yeah. So it indicates Google search better if it's a white background, because that's what Google search based their search on. So
we like to do that for things like our new with tags items, and we have like a huge quantity of jeans that we want to pop up in Google when people search for that item. So some things it probably makes more sense to have a white background. You don't have to.
Yeah, and there's some people that like to not do a white background so their stuff stands out more. So it's just one of those things, again, personal preference, and just do what you can. Like try your best to make it look good.
And it's not just we're not. I guess we're like very focused on eBay, but then like there's Depop, which you don't want to really have a white background for Depop.
Yeah, Depop's have a white background. So like different markets, different kettles of fish. Depop, you want models, or you want some sort of like background that's going to stand out and catch people's eye. But different markets, definitely.
Etsy, you can be creative and have your pot plant in the background.
I dry as a bone on a bed and stood on a chair. It was so long, just keep looking. And look, it works. We've all done crazy things.
We're all in a weird position trying to take photos on eBay.
So we've been almost an hour and 20.
Sorry.
No, that's great. It's been an awesome chat, and I'm sure that we're going to bring you back on again, because there's so much more knowledge there. And I think like we think similar and are able to drag things out of each other that we probably wouldn't be able to on our own. So if you guys want to see Cara more on the channel, let us know in the chat, which I'm sure all of you would love to see on the channel. If you haven't, for some strange reason, if for some strange reason you haven't subscribed to Cara, I have linked her YouTube in the description. Head over there. A wealth of knowledge in many categories, especially women's and vintage.
She's also an Instagram queen, and it is Thrifty Pixie 1.
If you want to see my day-to-day stuff, thanks, Andy. I'm mostly on Instagram. I do like YouTube, and it's just the editing thing, and I'll get there. But mostly day-to-day Instagram. I'm always showing like what I've sold and just like my random daily life and stuff.
Your Instagram is definitely better content than ours. Ours is just random shit. So, definitely head over, subscribe, check out a channel, check out Instagram. Instagram is Thrifty Pixie 1 because someone spelled Thrifty Pixie, but that's okay.
Well, every couple of months, I like look up Thrifty Pixie, and I'm like, I hate you, and just like. It's not even an account. I feel like I don't think they would even get my message. So I was like, could you please delete your account so I can have your username?
I just got to hit out on whoever that person is.
Look out, Thrifty Pixie.
I'll pay you $25 and some roses chocolate.
So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. As I said, we will announce a 2K stream for a bit of a giveaway soon.
Have a party.
Have a little bit of a hangout. Probably be a bit of an off stream, might be on a weekend, just to make it a bit more accessible to more people. We do want to thank everyone for that. So we will do that more on that 2K live. Otherwise, we have Wide World Reselling coming up this Sunday as well. On our channel, I think.
Where the girls get in the chat and troll the groups.
That's what happens. Hey, we see your comments, but we just let them go because, it's...
Yeah, well, I think we need to do like a girls not wide world of reselling, because that's the sausage thing, but it'd be good to do like a girls live sometime.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, and I want to do more like round tables where we can focus in on some topics.
Dude, actually, there's not enough round tables. Like, really, there's a lot of like social lives and stuff.
I thought you were going to say square tables.
Square table. There's not enough square
tables.
I really like analyzing things and getting down to like the nitty gritty of I could talk about eBay for hours and hours and hours. But really analyzing like listings and solds and stuff, like why things are selling in this particular categories and stuff. That would be fun, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something that we definitely want to do this year. A bit more of the roundtable type stuff. It's just finding another night to make it happen. So,
we'll try. There's always a spot taken. There's not really any. I think we've discussed this recently about what nights are free. There's not a lot. Yeah.
Rob, we are not the Thrifting Wives Club. You're the Thrifting Husbands Club.
Yeah.
We're the main deal.
Probably legit, to be honest. All right, guys. Well, we will leave it there tonight. As I said, do appreciate everyone coming. I saw over 70 at one point, so that's massive.
Yeah, thank you, guys. And hopefully everyone enjoyed it and stuff.
Yeah, I think a few people were jealous of your Maccas that you were showing off before, just quietly.
Oh yeah, you pissed off the whole UK.
I'm sorry, I love the UK people.
But thank you everyone for coming. Make sure you head over to Kara's channel, check her out. Otherwise, we will see you the next time we're speaking to you guys. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and try and enjoy this time, I suppose. Get stuff done you need to get done.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, stay positive. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.